This podcast provides a platform that will share many different points of views that should empower you, uplift you, make you want to go out and do right. When you hear the term still a man, say, yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Let's go.
What's up, people? Welcome to another episode of the Still a Man podcast. Tonight's topic, cheaper to keeper. Translation, we are talking about divorce. So have you ever been in a situation where you felt like that you wanted out of a bad relationship? Now I'm talking about relationships on the grandest level. We're talking about marriage. We're talking about the ultimate union. Now, since the pandemic, and I keep saying this, we talked about this on some of the previous episodes, people's attitudes and stuff have changed as it pertains to relationships. People that have been in relationships for quite a long time, let's say 20 years or more, have decided it's time to pack it in. It's time to pull the plug. I can now no longer breathe life into this situation. It needs to die. These people's attitude is if they was trapped in a bear trap like an animal, they would chew their leg or whatever limb off just so they can get free. But Johnny Taylor, Stack Records, 1973 said it's cheaper to keep her. And if you ever listen to that song, you'll know why. So he said in one of his verses, when that judge gives you a dirty look, you want to put all your money in your mama's pocketbook. Now, I guess that is, he was talking to the men in that situation. But if you ever listen to that song, better yet, I'm going to suggest to everybody, people on the panel, people that's going to see this video once it's uploaded, that you take out a moment of your day and go and listen to that song. Because just so you know, guys, it's not men that's singing the chorus, it's women that's singing the chorus. And they sound very happy to be singing It's Cheaper to Keep Her. All right, let's talk about it. We talking about divorce. Gonna keep it in its simplest form. What's the definition of divorce? It is the dissolution of a union or the termination of the marriage. Keep that simple. All right. What is divorce?
Broke up.
What are the contributing factors to the divorce? Who does it affect? How can you prevent being divorced? How can you
sign the papers?
Say if you can reconcile, and what is a part of the divorce process? What is alimony? You know, what is spousal support? What is child support? We're gonna discuss all those things. We're gonna dissect this. We're gonna run it down the line. All right, let's go first to Maria. Welcome, welcome, welcome. When you hear that song, Cheaper to Keep Her, or if you ever heard somebody say that to somebody, what does that mean to you? Have you ever been married? Do you want to get married? Do the people around you that are married
You asking a lot of questions at once.
Right.
I know, because I'm trying to get it in because I'm aware of your time and you're not going to be with us long according to what you said.
Okay, so I this topic really don't pertain to me. I'm not married. So I wouldn't be able to tell you if it's cheaper to keep her or cheaper to keep him.
Okay,
I mean, I heard people say it before and I never heard the song, so I don't know.
So just like the other people never heard the song,
You never heard the song.
When you get a
I
chance,
never heard the song It's Cheaper to Keep Her. Who sings it?
Johnny Taylor. It was
Johnny
released in
Taylor, right. And
1973.
Uncle played it every Sunday.
All
He
right.
was playing
Well,
that damn song every
well, I
Sunday.
have to
Cheaper,
hear it because
cheaper.
Would you like to give us a little sample?
Listen, we can't, so we don't get off track. So Maria, since you
I
don't
don't
know nothing
I
about it,
don't recall hearing it. But anyways,
You know the song.
no,
When you hear it, you'll be like, I know that song. Watch, I guarantee you.
all right, so
no,
Maria,
I'm guessing you willing to stay in a bad situation because you don't want to pay.
okay, that's okay. Let's go to the next lady. Let's go to Patsy. Patsy, what does that mean to you when you hear this, that term, cheaper to keep her? Have you ever heard the song? Have you been married? And did you feel like it would have been cheaper for the individual to stay married to you as opposed to divorcing you?
No, I haven't heard the song. And yes, I have been married, and um when I got divorced, I didn't want any kind of money or anything because I didn't want any ties to my ex-husband whatsoever. And having that money attachment after the fact is still having ties with him. I'm like, forget it. I don't want nothing. I don't want because then I'd have to like go back to court because I ain't got no payment and this and that, and I didn't want that extra headache.
So when you pulled the plug, it was dead. You didn't want no lifeline, nothing.
Nothing, nada, 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 nada.
Okay, that's fair.
Cut it clean and even.
All right, let's go to another lady. Tanya, you with us?
Yep.
All right, it's sharing time. Sharing is caring. So again, have you ever heard the song "Cheaper to Keep Her" by Johnny Taylor? And are you married? Have you ever been divorced? And did you, if you was divorced, did you feel like it would have been cheaper for him to stay married to you?
Yes, I have heard the song Cheaper to Keep Her. Yes, I have been married and divorced. Yes, I'm married now, happily. And with the divorce, it was a situation that I didn't want to stay in, no matter how much money he had. I had to fight for child support, so that's that story. And I didn't want anything but child support. And when I didn't get that, I did it on my own.
So unlike Patsy, Patsy decided the best thing for her would be cut off all ties. And the only thing you wanted from him was child support, not alimony.
Now let me just say this: child support and for him to spend time with his kids. But yeah,
And
we'll just
that didn't cost him nothing to do that.
It didn't, but it was hard to do.
Well, God bless. God bless. God bless. All right. Duchess, you with us?
Yes.
It's sharing time. Same question. How you feel about that song, "Cheaper to Keep Her"? Have you ever heard it? Do you know what the term means? And how you feel about? Let me say how you feel about divorce.
I don't think, I mean, I think I might have heard the song, but like I couldn't tell you like word for word or whatever. So I mean I probably heard it. I don't really particularly like the whole phrase of it. It's to me it's a little demeaning. Um how do I feel about divorce? Oh, mm, I mean, to each his own. Everybody has their own situation that they need to go through to either make things finalized because just doesn't work out or whatever. I mean, I'm a proponent of, trying to work things out into the end, but everybody's end is their end. So I don't know.
Okay, that's fair. And gentlemen, thank you for waiting so patiently. Let's see, we got Robbie, we got Gregory, we got Timmy. If there's any other gentlemen, I'll get to you as well. Let's go to Timmy first. Timmy, uh, have you ever heard that song "Cheaper to Keeper"?
I'm here too. Sorry.
Oh,
Oh
okay,
yeah,
sorry,
she just
Gina.
popped in.
Thank you. All right, before I go to Timmy, is there any other ladies that I didn't get to besides Gina?
No.
All right, Gina, same question as everybody else. Have you ever heard that legendary Stax record, Cheaper to Keeper by Johnny Taylor? It came out in 1973. That was before your time. That was before a lot of people's time. But it came out then. And do you know what the term cheaper to keeper means? And what does divorce mean to you? How do you feel about divorce, I should say?
Um, I've never heard this. I don't think I've heard this song before, but I cannot. I mean, I guess the title is self-explanatory. Um, rather just stay in a relationship that you're unhappy with, so you can save some money. Um, as far as divorce, I have not been married. Um, but I don't know. I just feel like I've seen a lot of marriages, people stay and be unhappy for years, or people stay with their significant other, wife or husband, and they continue to cheat, you know, and it's just like, why are you married if you're gonna cheat? You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like if you're unhappy and you want to cheat and you want to go off and be with this person, be with that person, that's all good. Nobody's judging you, but don't get married.
Okay. And
Yeah.
before I go to you, Timmy, let me spin the block and go back to Maria. Maria, you still with us? Maria?
Yes, I'm still here.
All right, because I feel like that you didn't get a chance to really the question how it was presented for you, I didn't even give you a way that you could answer it. So let me ask you in this way. How do you feel about divorce?
Well, I mean, I really don't have a feeling towards it because I guess if you have to get a divorce, I'm not going to tell anybody to stay in a situation that's not good for them. So, I don't have any real feelings against divorce.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, for me, it's just that you're marrying, it's on a piece of paper, and now you have to go through the law to break up.
Mm.
Rather than it was just a relationship and you just leave each other.
Okay, so after I get finished going to all the guys, I'm gonna come back to you, Maria, because you made a valid point about the basically the document. Timmy, Johnny Taylor, do you know the song "Cheaper to Keeper"?
Of course. Of course.
And what does it mean to you?
Well, it's just what it means. Cheaper to keep her. Instead of breaking up with her, stay with her. And in that, Maria and Gina definitely said that, you know, in that situation you you stay in, but it's going to be a lot of trials and tribulations going on, cheating, you know, just like the make up the breakup song. It's just that's just what it is. You're gonna have that problem, and Maria hit it straight on the nose. Is That's just a piece of paper by law, and then you got to go through and spend money and things to undo it, compared to if you was just in a relationship as common law, for 10, 20 years, common law.
Mhm.
or 15 years. So yeah.
All right. So if you haven't figured it out, um, I believe the song, and Robert and Gregory, hold tight, I haven't forgotten you. Just gonna give you guys a little facts, give you some facts. All right, what's up, B?
Bernie.
And just so you guys know, too, this episode is based upon by request that Bird asked to talk about this. So I'm glad that you were able to join us. Yeah. So I'll get to you in a moment. So basically, the song Cheaper to Keep was made as a message to the men. So it was telling them, basically, whatever you think lies on the other side of divorce, you might want to listen to this because it can help you try to sway you from doing so. But let's go to, before we get into that any further, let's go to Gregory and then Robert and then
How
Bert.
that tune go? It goes, it's cheaper to keep her.
No,
I
that's the
don't know.
wrong song.
I don't know
Wrong
exactly
song.
how that song
All
goes,
right,
but
so you try
Cheaper to keeper.
there you go, Timmy. You done told him again.
Cheaper to keeper.
All right, Gregory. So go on. What does cheaper to keep the term? What does it mean to you?
when I hear it, I think about infidelity, custody battles, and most importantly, prenup. Sign the goddamn prenup. Get you a I'm an advocate for the prenup. Get a prenup.
So when you hear cheaper to keeper, you hear infidelity, you hear breaking up, and you hear prenup.
Yeah, sure. I'm saying you might as well get a prenup and you wouldn't even have to worry about the money at the end.
Okay. All right. Mr. Clearwater, are you with us? Going once?
Yes, I am. This is what it means to me. You can have the money, you can have the house, you can have. I've been there and I wasn't even married, and I gave it all away. You know why? I feel I got it then, I can get it all over again. I'm not trying to stay with nobody that I'm not happy with. I don't care about the money that you're trying to take from me. You ain't gonna get it all. You're gonna get some of it, but I'm not staying with you. I'm not gonna be happy when I wake up in the morning. I'm not gonna be happy when I'm passing through in the afternoon, and I sure as ain't gonna be happy going to bed at nighttime with you. So why I'm keeping you? Just so you won't take money out my bank account in my pocket. I can find another lady start to rebuild all of that finance again, or do it on my own, like I did probably before you came in the picture. That's the only reason why you're getting some of my money, because I probably was the breadwinner, and you got accustomed to living the way I had you living with me or in our home.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you read that out of book, Bob?
No, that's me, Berg. That's my smarts.
Sean
You
just
wrote
joined
that
us
shit
too.
down.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to Bird next. Bird, I'm not sure if you're familiar with that soul classic Cheaper to Keeper by Johnny Taylor, but what does the term cheaper to keeper mean to you when you hear it? And hold on. And
Well, I
have you been
again,
married? Have you been married and have you been divorced?
I have been married, and I personally don't be the keeper, because at one point you're getting all the money in my life when we together. You get it all.
Mm-hmm.
At some point when we split, you're only getting a little bit, or you getting something. I mean, eventually, I'm not a millionaire, and I'm not going to give away half of my millions and my property, and so to a common regular person like myself, alimony could have been put in place, but it wasn't. So I didn't pay alimony. I paid to support my children. But again, before I'm divorced, you get my whole check. I need gas, I need cigarettes, I need weed, and I'm straight. All the rest of my money went to my house, to my family. You don't get it all no more. So I didn't believe it is not cheaper to keep on a common, regular person like myself. Now, let's say Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, everybody with multi-millions of dollars, gave it all, gave it up to the person that probably deserved it because they helped you build your dynasty. They were there supporting your funky ass when you was out cheating and scamming and whatever you've been doing. So they pretty much had a lot to play in the building of, those millions. So I would believe they should be entitled to some of it. You know what I mean? But yeah, to a common guy like me, it ain't cheaper to keep her because you do get a little bit now to play with your own money.
Yes, tell 'em.
I think the term cheaper to keep a Dave was the
Cheaper to
meaning
keep
of the
her.
song was that if you leave, then she's gonna take all my money. But if I stay home, I can give her whatever I've been giving her. And that he says that in the song.
Okay. All right. Let's get Sean's perspective. Sean,
Oh, yeah,
welcome.
go ahead.
Hold on, T. Sean, you can hear us?
John mute.
Sorry, here I am.
All
All
right.
right. Phrase with the question is,
All
what
right.
do I think of the
Cheaper to
song, or
keep
what do I think of
her.
the term?
Yeah, so basically, if you just
Bird knows it.
we're talking about the topic is cheaper to keep her, and the question is it's several parts to the question. Have you ever heard the legendary soul song "Cheaper to Keep Her" by John Taylor?
Yes, sir.
What does the term "cheaper to keep her" mean to you? Have you been married? Are you still married, or have you been divorced?
Yes, I've been married and I've been divorced. And the term cheaper to keep her to me has always meant, because I've lived it, is that I think the song or the term always referred to financial and emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I was willing to give up the finance, but I was not going to give up my emotional or my psychological. And so, because those last two outweighed the first, it was not cheaper to keep her. They had to go.
Understand it.
Okay.
And,
You got more?
Cheaper to keep her.
that's it for me.
Tanya, I think you were trying to chime in.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is like you got to think about the time that the song was made. During that time, the women was like the homemaker at that time, and the man was the one going out doing all the work. And it's a different income bracket as well, because you think that they thinking that it's cheaper to keep her because she done been home taking care of them kids that they done had and keeping the house. And men get arrogant thinking that because they made all that money, being a housewife wasn't a job.
Well,
Right.
well, even though that song was made back then and they may felt that way, people still is living by that. People still feel that way. It's
They better
cheaper.
wake up.
They
better.
still feel that it's cheaper to stay in the situation than to go through all of the finance, the breakup, the whatever else that comes with it behind the divorce. The stress, the emotion, the split of the kids, the split of the house, everything.
Let me give you
And
guys.
I just seen whatchamacallit. She let Marlon come back home on account of he was doing bad. He has no money. He's living in his mother-in-law's garage and whatnot, their back house and whatnot, and the kids miss him. And so she's like, I'm gonna bring you back home until you get on your feet.
And just so we clear, who are you referring to?
Florence and Ballin on Love and Hip Hop.
Oh, okay, all right.
What?
So back to reality. I mean, because that's reality TV. But back to what we're talking about. It's relevant. It's relevant. But let's stick to this. All right. So a little fun fact. Yes, panel. Who initiates divorce more these days, women or men? Patsy,
Women.
what's your guess?
I'm guessing it's the women. That's how it was with me.
Mm-hmm.
I initiated it
Mm-hmm.
because I wasn't happy, with my marriage. I didn't feel like I was supported emotionally, financially, and stuff like that. So I'm like, you know what? Peace out.
Okay. Chi, Duchess, what about you? Who do you think initiates marriage more so? I mean, excuse me, divorce more so, man or woman?
I know statistically it's 60 to 70% women do. I was just reading
Ooh,
this article yesterday, so
doing your homework, huh?
it had nothing to do with this. I mean, I didn't know this was going to be
Right.
the topic.
You
So
just looking and
Yeah.
reading.
All right, hold on. Let's get the rest of the women. Maria?
Well, Kiana just gave the answer, but I would think it's the women because um you try to stay in it as long as you can. And at that point, when you done, you done. So I will go with the women trying to hold on to their family longer than the men.
Okay. Kiana? I mean, excuse me, Tanya?
oh, can I just add to that?
Yeah.
And I think it's the opposite because a lot of men maybe agree with this. It's cheaper to keep her, so they don't make the initiation.
Okay. Tanya?
I initiated my divorce, so I'm gonna say the women.
All right. Gina?
I would say that it would be the women because women we're not gonna stand for a lot. And men, they'll be miserable and be stuck in the same spot.
All right, guys, don't be shy. I want your answer to Robert.
The answer's already been answered. My answer was gonna be that from the get. But to bounce off of what Kiana said, she was saying the men will stay or whatever, and of course the men will stay, being that they won't be the one that want to get divorced first. I'm telling you like this: there's some men out here in the real world that is marrying ladies and waiting that 2 years or how much time they have to wait just to get their money. So they'll sit there for 2 years or 3 years and then be like, "Yep, it's time for me to divorce this bitch."
So just so the rest of us is clear about what you're
I'm
saying.
telling you, it's the women, just like everyone else knows. She just
Yeah,
gave
but
the
the
answer. My answer was
scenario,
gonna be the woman.
all right, but the scenario you just gave, are you talking about women that want to be, I mean, men that want to be married to the woman because they love her, or are you talking about situations where people are married
It's
for
all game.
citizenship?
Some of them already know the finance stats. So I love you, I love you. You can manipulate a situation to work for you. You're gonna stay married as long as it takes. So when you go in front of that judge, you say, well, I wasn't working as much and I wasn't doing this. She was dressing me, she was feeding me, she shouted me, all this. I'm gonna be needing to continue to live like this. And that was your plot going in.
All right, so Timmy,
Women.
women, all right,
Yeah.
Sean,
Women. And my reason for that is that to also piggyback off of what Kiana said, for the majority of the men that I know of that's gone through this, including myself, we some have initiated their divorce and others have either just checked out and just went along with the ride until a divorce was presented to them.
okay, Gregory,
Yeah, it's the women's. They said, what's wrong with you voting for Barack Obama?
Bird,
He said women.
All right, so let me just tell y'all, of course, Kiana kind of gave y'all.
All of this is bad.
Kiana gave y'all the answer. It's women, but you would be surprised to know this. If this woman has a friend that is
You
a
don't hear too much.
divorcee, then it's going to increase to 75% as opposed to 69%. It's escalated. The rate it jumps greatly when she has a friend that's a divorcee because she feels like that she can find comfort in a new relationship that consists of her and her friend. They can be happy being divorced, so she can show her how to be happy, like life after divorce, basically. All right, so let me ask you guys this: what do you think are some of the top contributing factors to divorce? Patsy, what do you think some contributing factors are? The top.
Like I said, for me, it was finance and like really no lack of emotional support, supporting me financially, and if you have kids, like you're not supporting with the kids and helping out with them and stuff like that. So those I think are the main factors. It's like at least like not feeling like you're backed up in any kind of way.
Okay. Gina?
I would say you said what was the question again? I'm sorry.
What are the contributing factors to divorce? What are the top contributing factors?
I would say consistent cheating.
Mm-hmm.
I would say gaslighting, being a narcissist, just not catering to your partner's needs. Just not a team player.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maria?
I agree with Patsy and Gina, it's disloyalty, being emotionally checked out, just not there for your partner emotionally, no stability, and no communication no more, right? You just fall out of love.
Woo! Y'all, telling you, knocking out box tonight. Tanya?
Yes, I agree with the ladies. You fall out of love, no communication, finances, selfishness, no stability, no thought on how to be a parent, no emotional support. Yeah.
All right, I hear all y'all saying this. I got something for you. I'm coming back to y'all about that, which y'all keep saying about this communication and stuff. But I'm glad y'all did. Duchess?
Yeah, I think the top three, I know infidelity is like number one, finances is number two, and I think I want to say equity, meaning like one spouse feels like they're doing more work in the relationship than the other, and that becomes a deal breaker.
Timmy, what do you think some contributing factors are as it pertains to divorce?
Number one's always cheating, and then number two is lack of communication and telling a person what they expect or want, and three, definitely finance. If one's pulling more weight than the other, of course, there's going to be some type of arguments and conflict about that. And number four overall is they're not listening and understanding one another or validating each other. That's number four.
Okay. Let's go to Gregory.
Earlier I said it was infidelity, but ultimately I think it's not knowing your spouse or knowing the other person. People jump into these relationships that we're in nowadays are like lustful for some reason. And people are jumping into the relationship. They don't really love each other, so you shouldn't even be getting married in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Well said, well said, young man. Well said. Out of the mouths of the youth come the truth. All right, Sean.
I think it's commitment, responsibility. Like, you just no longer want to be accountable for anything. Yeah, definitely finance, and I think infidelity is in there, but I think a lot of people learned how to tolerate that. I don't think that's as big of a deal breaker as it used to be. I think it's more of the communication and lack of commitment, emotional support, financial support. I think those are the top.
All right. I'm gonna come back to what you just said too, Sean. Robert.
I always say this for a relationship and a marriage. Sometimes plain and simple is it just ran its course. Meaning the things you used to say that was so meaningful and special and loving to your spouse, you don't say those things anymore or not enough. The things you used to do the same way, meaningful, special, loving, caring. You don't do those things as much or at all anymore. So it pretty much ran its course, especially when you start putting in verbal abuse or physical.
Okay. Now I'll go back to what Kiana basically nailed it, but you guys are Sean, when you were saying that you don't think that infidelity is one of the number ones. It is, depending on what survey you're looking at, because if it's relating to women, how women feel about it, infidelity is a big thing for them. Finance is right up there, like infidelity and a lack of finance. It runs a close race, and communication is bringing up the back real fast. So you guys are all right on point, but infidelity is still tops the charts and stuff like that. So I hear everybody say communication, 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 but how does it get to that point where communication is a problem when you're doing your vows? For you ladies and you gentlemen that have been, excuse me, I'm sorry, speaking of that. Bird, are you still with us? Okay, I don't know if Bird logged out.
He's on mute.
All right.
I'm here.
All right, B.
Yeah.
All right, so it's important. I want to make sure you're part of this conversation. So what do you think are some of the leading contributing factors to divorce?
I mean, I believe overall, like we say, most women file for divorce on men because we're selfish.
Mm.
We want to do what we want. We want our cake and eat it too. We want to, and then there's only so much that a woman is going to put up with. And eventually our selfish behavior will catch up to us.
So that's your reason why divorce happens, because the man is the selfish one in the relationship.
8 out of 10 times, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so let me ask you this question. Bird, you took vows when you got married, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you remember the vows that you took? Can you recite some of them?
No, I do not. Nah. I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No.
So all right, let me
Took her to
ladies.
forever and for hold.
No, hold on. Ladies, do you remember the vows that you took? Those of you that are married? Tanya, Patsy, Kiana.
That was 30 years ago, Dave.
Hold on one second. Whoever got that sidebar, mute your phone. All right, again, Tanya.
There was something about in sickness and in health, till death do us part. Honor your husband and wife, and husband honor your wife. It's a partnership.
You see that, Bird? Kiana, do you remember your vows?
Yes, I do.
That's not what they.
No,
Some
Timmy.
people write their own vows.
Hold on, Timmy. That's why I
true
said,
too.
did they remember their
No,
vows?
he didn't.
Go
No, he
ahead.
didn't.
Go ahead.
I mean, I remember definitely. I don't know what scripture it is where they say you're not supposed to keep a record of wrongs. I don't know why that came into my head yesterday, so it still was sticking. But yes, in sickness and in health till death do us part. Honor.
Obey.
No, I took that out. Respect.
You would.
I definitely took that out. There's no obeying here.
Obey.
Honor, respect. So yeah, till death do you part. And there was probably more, but that's just the gist of it. I definitely took obey out.
I'm going somewhere with this.
You may now kiss the bride.
Patsy.
Yeah, the same thing as Tanya and Kiana just said.
Obey.
All right, so I'm gonna be fair. Hold on. Come the other ladies on the panel. Maria, are you familiar with the marital vows?
Yeah, what they just said. Those right there. That was the basic or whatever. Like everybody normally have the same vows unless you write your own.
Okay, so you're familiar with those vows, even though you haven't been married.
Yeah, I've been to plenty of weddings and watched enough on TV.
All right. What about you? Little cuz? Gina.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the basic till death do us part, better or worse.
You don't
I
seem
don't
like you buy into them too much.
I mean, the obey thing is like so like I don't know. It's just so old and masculine. It's a masculine thing to say. So to obey, it's bad
They
vibes.
tell all
But
you women that's
Hold on,
on
Timmy.
this.
Hold on, Timmy. Go ahead.
No, but I think that it's probably best to write your own vows. So yeah, you can, you don't have to, it can be clear, you know what I mean? But I'm familiar with the regular way.
All right, I'm gonna go you, Timmy.
I think that is just the basic, the basic vows that they they recited. But your own vows is coming from your heart.
Means so much more.
That means right. That means more than that
somebody
same old
written.
fashioned, that same old vow to sickness
Yes.
and health, to death do us
Obey.
apart.
There's no
Obey,
originality
honor,
no more.
that is like old fashioned. But when
That's
you write your
laziness.
own, it means so much more.
Yes.
It's intuitive.
All right, so since
Obey.
Robert's Timmy's backup singer all through his statement.
I'm telling you straight up, I think that for me, I think that is just being lazy, and you ain't really showing your true inner feelings because you didn't take the time to write out your own.
Well,
you
some
sat here and
people
recited.
come up with the word. I mean, I don't know.
Sat here and recited someone else's shit that's been going on for years and years and years and
That's
years.
not someone.
What if you get
I
Chris
don't
Tucker
care.
or
That's why I
But
didn't
somebody?
some
mention
people,
it.
have problems with speaking in public places. Some people don't have the words or can't really, articulate themselves to express how much they love someone. So
And then again, that goes back to that's their problem.
Now
but it's also biblical. So why would you change it
I don't appreciate that.
Thank you.
Basic word.
It's not basic. It's biblical. So you repeat what is said in the Bible.
I was going
Obey. It's in the Bible.
They're gonna
Obey.
always
somewhere with that.
Repeat that after your vows anyway.
I was going somewhere with the line of questioning, but leave it up to Professor Clearwater to incite a riot, to stir up people. But thank you, Kiana, and what's the name, Tanya. It is biblical. But Sean, let me be fair to Sean and the rest of them. Sean, do you remember your vows?
And I don't remember the day.
Do you remember what was asked of you?
That's my answer. We can move on from there.
Okay.
Beautiful.
What's
I
about
like
my religion?
honesty.
Gregory,
He
do
break the
you?
glass and jump the roof.
Gregory, do you? All right, you on your playing mode. Burr, you don't remember yours neither. You don't care to remember. You don't listen. All right.
You
So my
don't
point
remember.
was, that's why I said initially, if you listen to the question, I said, do you remember the
Your
vows? Your vows. I didn't say nothing about making up new vows and stuff like that because I was going somewhere in the Bible. That's it's biblical. That's why they have you recite those things, because that is the religious part of the ceremony. That is what marriage is what God acts. That's a godly union. So those words are scripture that they be having you recite in the Bible. Don't take, excuse me, during the marriage ceremony. Don't take my word for it. Go look it up. I think it's in Matthew's. I think it's in a few other ones of the stories of the books. But don't take my word. Go look it up yourself. All right, so we said what was the contributing factors. Let's talk about who's affected. Once, because Bird said that it usually happens because the man is being selfish. But I think that based upon the vows and stuff, each party, when they decide to break up, to bring about the dissolution of the union, that is kind of like blasphemy, because it tells you in the Bible you're not supposed to be divorcing. That's why it says, until death do you part. The only reason why you're supposed to be seeking divorce is when someone has committed adultery. And it tells you,
Nope.
it
Nope.
tells you in the scriptures.
Divorce is a sin in the Bible.
I just told you that. And it tells you in the scriptures, if you accuse this woman of adultery, you're putting her out there, you're making her a target. So be careful when you decide to do that. So again,
doesn't say stay if you're miserable either.
That's according to man's law, not God's law.
It doesn't say stay if you're.
It's not a sin to cheat and beat your wife.
It is all of that. All of that is. See.
So it's just.
I don't know about beating your wife. The Bible says you can beat your kids. Don't spare the rod.
Your
So
wife
let
beat your kids.
let me
on,
ask
guys.
this question.
Well,
I really want to know, like,
ask your
if
question.
if you're a child predator, okay, and you happen to marry somebody that you did not know that was a child predator, right? And then you find out, right? Are you still supposed to stay with him? Because the
Well,
Bible
the
says.
way you just said it, cuz
Hold on. So we don't go off track, because I don't want y'all to take my words out of
I'm
context.
just saying that whole thing about divorce, and you're not supposed to divorce because the Bible said so.
That is definitely the extreme, where if you're married to
because I agree.
That's why I said it
so
doesn't
many,
say you stay if you're miserable. It doesn't say that.
so many different life changes happen. So for someone to stay with a person in a situation that is not good to you or your kids, it's like you can't. You're
That's
gonna
like
have
making
to
it
ask God
worse.
you're gonna have to ask God for forgiveness, because
That-
at the end of the
we
day,
ain't gonna say no names in this
Ladies,
subject right
gentlemen.
here.
you're in a
Ladies,
situation that's not healthy for you or your kids.
Two things back all the way back to what David started off with this with. The marriage vows that we know as marriage vows today, this and the other, is not biblical.
It's not.
Wedding vows do not come from the Bible. It's not scripture.
Thank you, Sean. It's
Second,
not.
All right, so hold on.
Yes, sir.
Mazel tov.
Because
No, let Sean finish.
I am, Robbie. I'm just being clear about it. I want you to elaborate. So if I'm wrong, tell me.
That's you Tanya
That
and Kiana, that made that
wedding
statement.
wedding wedding vows came from Western culture.
Mm.
Excellent, sir.
So that is not so that's why it's not scripture.
You break the
Thank
Secondly,
glass,
you.
you jump through broom.
Okay,
Thank you.
so is that it? Is that the only thing you basing it on?
that's the only thing I need to base it on. If you said it was
That's
scripture, it was
it.
in the Bible, and I'm telling you that it's not in the
It's
Bible.
not.
There is nowhere in there that the
Thank
wedding,
you.
that the vows that you've ever heard spoken at a wedding is anywhere in the Bible.
It's in that slave
Okay,
Bible, though.
so
No, it's not even in the one that you consider the slave Bible. It's not in the Bible.
let me say this. Let me say this because I'm
I'm
not
gonna
gonna.
go and find
And
this.
here's the
Yeah,
second
that's what I'm
part.
about to say.
I think what Sean is saying is that the only thing that's scriptural is where it says where the husband leaves his mother and father and goes to the wife and they become one.
Right.
That's in the Bible, yes.
You know what?
So I think that's what
And-
that part is what he's saying is scriptural, and the other
And
part is
and
not.
the other part, and I know we're dealing with that, but I'm gonna and speak to the other part of when you said that that it's a sin or God frowns on divorces and the other. He does not. How can I say this? He doesn't encourage divorce, but he's if we can say that he's okay with it if there is a sexual immorality.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in Matthew 5, 3, and I want to say 1.
And the
yeah, that's what I said
No,
about
Matthew.
the adultery.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What'd you say?
That's what I said. That's what I made reference to about the adultery part. So if I'm incorrect about the other part of my statement, that was based upon my interpretation of what I read earlier. So what I believe, based upon what I read, was the vows is it's basically simplified, a translation of what's written in the Bible. It's made so they simplified it so that it'll be easier for all men and women of these times to receive. That's what I mean by it's biblical. So again, don't take my word for it. Go look it up. It's not in there. Let me be clear about this because I'm not retracting what I'm saying. It's not in there word for word, like the way you recite it in the thing, but that is an interpretation, well, a translation of what is in the Bible.
So then the word that needs to be used is based on biblical principles.
All right, I'll go with that. I'll go with that.
Okay.
I'll go with that.
Because that works better than saying that it's in the Bible.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go.
Yeah, because these
I'll go with
crazy
that.
Westerners used to brand F's on people's heads for fornicating.
I'll go with that because again, like I said, I'm staying true to what I said now based upon my interpretation of what I read. The vows, the marital vows that people recite is based upon what was written. So as Sean's saying, it's the principle, how they present. Is that what you're saying? Biblical principle?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes.
I'll go with that. I'll go with that. So back to that, back to what we were saying. So Tanya, you guys can still do your research so that you can be clear about both with what I'm saying, what Sean's saying, and what everybody else, because again, it's one of them situations, tomato, tomato, potato, potato. When you know all there is to know about it, that's why we gotta do our research so we can have these intelligent conversations. And thank you for enlightening me because I have no problem with receiving new knowledge and the way that it's presented. All right, so where was we? Who is affected by divorce? Let's go to Bird. Bird, who is affected by divorce?
All right, good night, guys. I gotta go.
All right,
Everyone.
hold on 1 second, Patty. Before
Yeah.
you leave, bless us with this answer. Who do you believe is affected by divorce?
Like you
Everyone.
just said, everyone. the person who wants the divorce is affected, the person who was cheating is affected, the kids is affected, even in-laws is affected. Everyone's affected by the divorce.
Even friends.
Yeah, friends too, because now they gotta pick and choose sizes, or they feel like they gotta pick and choose a size.
All right, dropping jewels before you leave. All right, you have a blessed evening. Thank you for joining us.
All right, good night, everyone.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night.
For the rest of
Good
y'all,
night, Auntie.
let's go.
iPhone to everyone, sexual immorality. Matthew 5:31
Kiana is giving you guys some insight. She said it is Matthews is where
That
you
was Sean.
find it.
Sean did.
Was that Sean? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Sexual immorality. Okay. So that was Matthew, right?
Matthew 5, I think he said.
Yes.
All right. So you guys, little fun facts. Take some time out later on tonight if it means enough to you, and check that out. That might be the difference.
Yeah, text me that on my phone later on.
Yep. Let's go. Bert, you was talking. You were saying that everybody's affected by it. Can you please elaborate?
Yeah, exactly what Maria was saying. Everyone, down to the pets, family, friends, everybody's
Now that
affected.
was hard because that's true.
No, B, it's
Shit.
definitely true.
Yeah,
I know this.
Them pets be
Yeah.
screaming, crying.
yeah.
People wouldn't know which way to go.
All right, so let me get your background singers in there. Gregory, who's affected by it?
Oh, I agree with everybody. I'm gonna quote Drake. I believe he said this: "Nobody wins when a family feuds."
No.
I think Drake took that from
That
someone.
was Jay-Z.
Give him good credit. I think
See what I'm
all of
saying?
them.
My fault.
I think all of them took that from someone. Y'all want to give them that grace? That's fine, but they heard that somewhere else. Let's go to Robert next. Robert, who's affected?
I'm pretty sure everyone else is going to agree what's been said already. I agree.
Oh, you're gonna be easy. All right. Timmy.
Yes, I agree with it, this panel.
Ooh, this is easy. Sean.
Yeah, I believe everyone is affected.
All right. Let's go to Gina. Gina, what about you, dear?
Everybody.
Everybody. Patsy.
Same thing. Everybody's agreeing on this one. This answer. Everybody's affected no matter who it is.
Okay.
From the parents to the children to the pets.
Okay.
Well, I believe the children suffer the worst.
Okay, we're gonna get to that, B. Hold on. Hold. We're gonna come right back to that.
Also, when you, I do have a question after. I'm not going to ask it now, but go ahead. Just don't forget about me.
No, I won't. Well, here's what we do. I'm gonna go to Kiana.
Body.
I'm gonna go to Tanya, and then I'm gonna come back to you and Bert. All right, go ahead, Keith.
I had to answer a call, but I guess the question you were starting to ask was who's affected by divorce, and
Yep.
Everyone is saying everyone.
Yep, we're still
And I
there.
agree, and I was gonna say probably the children are affected the most, but
Okay.
you're gonna elaborate on that
Yep,
later.
you and Bert, stay tuned. Tanya.
I said everybody.
Everybody, okay. Gina, go ask your question there.
I just want to ask the men that have been married, specifically the men, because I have two family members, I will not name names, that are men and who consistently cheat on their wives.
Okay, so let's be clear. We have a clear distinction on this panel, and I'm very adamant about that. Are they MANs or are they NANs?
They're MAN, men.
Okay, all right. So go ahead.
You know what the NAN is?
Timmy's
No,
gonna
what's
tell
the
you.
NAN?
Go
Do
ahead,
you
tell
use the
Timmy.
NAB term?
Go ahead, Timmy.
No accountable nigger.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I was
So
lost.
It's
again, is
actually
it a man
nothing
or
AB
is it a man or
or
is it a
nothing
man?
A
And let me
nipple.
be clear about it. It don't have to be that N-word Timmy used. It could be nitwit or whatever. So
So
it's interchangeable.
these specific men, I will say this, they are in their child's lives, like active in their child's lives, but one just he just acts like he's single, and I don't know the dynamic of his marriage, but I don't know how he does it. Like I don't know how she don't know is what I'm trying to say. And the other one, you know, I think that I know that she doesn't know, but I feel like he's always so sneaky and doing it obviously behind her back.
Oh,
I don't get it.
oh, so he's a naga.
So Gina, it don't
Hmm.
take
That word means
married
king.
men.
You
All
naga
right,
And
means
what's
let's
your
snake. Cut
question?
it
long
out.
talk.
Naga means snake.
One
Cut it
is
out.
about to get his renewal. We about to go. Well, I'm not going. Going to Greece to get to renew his vows. He about to go all the way to Greece
So
to get
wait,
his.
is this
That's the guilt trip.
is this the cheetah?
That's a guilt
So
trip.
what's the
Yes,
question?
the
Yeah, that's the
cheater.
guilt
So
trip.
that's what
Yeah,
I was
that's
about
the
to
guilt trip.
address. She wanted to know from y'all point of view, you and Sean is the only one that been married on the panel. But I was gonna tell her, not only just because they was married, all of us can answer this question. It's like
All right, let the
common
married
sense.
men.
But
Let the
what
But
is
married.
I'm
the
gonna let them
question?
answer
I
it
don't know
because
what
Let,
the
when
let,
I'm
question
So
about to
is.
talk, everyone
the
cut me
question
off.
is, why
Why does
do
he do it?
right?
There
Why
you
do
go.
married men go through so much? Because you really have to go through so much just to do what you want to do, right? Than to just
No,
be happily married and stay in your marriage. And
mm,
their excuses, it's not what you think it is. But it's a marriage. Like, I haven't been married before, but I feel like when men say that, it's like, oh, it's not all that. It's not all what you're married. You went before God or whoever you went before, and you married this woman because you want to spend the rest of your life with her, but then you cheat on her every day.
can I tell you what the bottom line answer? And anyone can defute this if they want to, but this is what I stand on. It's just it comes down to the character of the person.
mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Okay. That
That
makes sense.
I don't know. I don't know. I think if you're that, and I'll say this word, is you're out of tune with your spouse or your person to not know that they're out there. That's
Thank you.
almost you're that far um disconnected with this person.
Mm-hmm.
So you ain't
Mhm.
connected with this person. If they're continuously out there cheating and you don't know, there's no connection. You're
It's
totally
So I
either
will.
that
disconnected from this
be or
person.
she's too
Can I raise
connected and
my
he's
hand?
controlling her.
She's
Can
not
I raise my
Hold on one
hand?
second. Hold on, Kate. Let Bird finish, and then you can jump right in there. Go ahead, Bird.
But got
Hold
shut
on,
down.
Robbie. Go ahead, Bird. Bird,
He must have lost connection.
you hit mute. All right. Robbie, let Key go,
Let Kiana go.
and
He's
then
probably
we'll come
talking
right back to
until
you.
he's not on. He's
All right,
on mute.
go ahead, Kiana.
I mean, there's men literally out here going through obstacle courses to keep their
Oh no, first gone.
lives separate and do
I'm
whatever
here.
they want to
Yes,
do on the
thank
Oh,
you.
low. So
Mm-hmm.
I disagree that the whole separate or whatever, because they can use work as an
Listen, we're
excuse, their
Yep.
stupid.
mom as an
We're
And they do.
not
excuse, their
Yep.
family as an excuse. So
Mm-hmm.
I
we're not
mean,
that smart. We're not that
yeah,
smart as a
they're not
species.
that
We
No, they
are.
smart.
are.
But if
Like,
but
AB,
We
if
are.
this is why
but if
I
We
but
he
if
are.
don't
has a
know.
you but if
We're
routine.
not.
but
He
if
has a
you have
routine
Come on,
every
guys,
single
one at a
day.
time.
doing
Nope.
that, then
One
you
at a
do
Nope.
that.
one at
And
a
Nope.
time.
also, if you
Nope.
are not giving her any reason, like you're not straying left or right, you're just
Right.
but you've been doing that crap for the whole time, she's not going to
Mm-hmm.
know any different.
Right.
She's just going to
Mm-hmm.
know what you think, and you never gave
Nope.
her a reason to suspect, to be like, because a woman can put a case
And what
together like a detective in
We
a minute if
stupid
she
right.
gets
like
No
eye.
doubt.
I
One
was
of the guys, they have a routine every single day. So I sat down with him and I asked him, I said, "Cause why, like, how do
Right
you
here.
do it?" He goes, "Well, I have a routine and I don't stray from my routine." So when if he's at work, he's in construction, so his hours, vary. So he's like, well, if when I'm at work and I'm here and here, she's here and here, or you know what I'm saying? So he does this. He does something every single day. Like he has a routine every single day that he does, and she doesn't question it because that's something that she's used to. She's used to his routine, and he's very like he's not a flashy person. He's not taking these chicks out or anything, but he definitely is giving them money, definitely having, relations with them. And he's definitely like he has a whole nother phone, like obstacle courses. Like she just said, like, why do all that? For what? Like,
All right, pause for a
That's
minute.
extreme.
Pause for a minute. I want to be fair to Robbie, and then we'll come back to Sean. Robbie, go ahead. I know he's waiting patiently. Go ahead.
Let's see how this works. Daggone lady, there's no excuses, and there's no excuse for a man. But in this case, we're talking about the lady. A man, before he started tricking around on her, she know how he made love to her. She know how he talked to her, how he was doing his ins and outs. Then he goes outside home and he meets another woman and he's having sex the way the other woman and him are comfortable of doing their 1-2. So there's different positions, there's a different motion. Maybe he's doing it slower, faster, or whatever with this person, lays up and lays down at home or whatever. When he comes into this house, if she's paying attention to her husband, she would notice changes. Not just because he has a routine he's been doing every day, construction, getting off at different times, making it work for him. When he comes to lay down with her, sex change. And if you're paying close attention to your spouse, you would know he or she is doing it a little different. That little different comes from the lady teaching him how to make her feel in the bed over there. What's going to get her off? He brings this home now, not always knowing he's doing it, but it accidentally comes out in that bedroom. If she's paying close attention, she'll be like, damn, we wasn't doing it never like this or this rhythm. You just keep watching and learning. You would notice that he's going to be doing more and more stuff. He's dealing with the other lady. And this right here, I don't know if you do it or not. It's like the easiest trick in the world. Your man come home, you put your fingers between his ball sack. If that ain't full, he's been out unloading, emptying his stuff. What he gonna tell you? He's been whacking off at work? No, you've
Now,
been
where
doing.
have you gotten this from?
It's the truth. You're learning, young man. Just be
Scientific,
wise and listen.
scientific fact.
Just
All
be
right, so
wise and listen. I'm telling you.
Scientific
All
fact.
right, so thank you for those Jews. Sean, you was gonna say something?
No, I'm good.
I was
Good?
gonna say something.
All right, Gregory.
I was agreeing with Bird, but now I'm gonna say it's a little mixture of both. It might be that he has a lot of control over the situation, and that what Bird was saying, that she's not paying too much attention because he's in so much control. It wouldn't even cross her mind that this man's cheating on her because he said what he said.
All right, so
Oh,
let
some
me.
women close.
You're right.
Yeah.
Some women just close.
What if she knew what she was getting when
That's
she
what I'm about to tell
married
you,
him,
Tanya.
and
Obey.
she doing her 1-2s while he
That
doing
can
his.
happen.
That's
Or
that
Tanya,
But
this.
underlying thing.
so
He's
have an
underlying
open
that.
marriage.
Obey.
Have a polygamous marriage or something. Why? Because my thing is, if she
Because we're
knew,
selfish. We don't want that.
Because he's
right?
underlying obey and
A,
honor.
a
Okay, so
woman,
let me
a
say
woman
so.
could have a blind
Sometimes they
eye
don't
to
want to
it.
know. She
So
don't want to.
guys,
She don't want to
I'm
discover
about to
that.
tell you,
Right.
a
let's stay
woman
to the
could have a
subject.
blind eye just to keep the man from the other woman. She knows probably deep in her heart he's messing around, and she's keeping it like she don't know just to keep the man at home.
All right,
She's
so
playing a blind eye to it.
let me say this to you,
Yeah.
just so we can get to
I
the
can
next
go for
question.
that too.
Just so we can get to the next question, go back to what Bird and Kiana was saying about the children. So I'm just gonna sum this all up. So basically, Both a man and a woman is going to do what you're going to allow them to do. That's what happens. And are some women are, let's say, ignorant to what the man is doing out in the street? Yeah. Are some men ignorant to what his woman is doing? Yes. But that just goes back to the person spending such time in developing a skill to be deceitful.
Just
So
don't
again,
want to believe.
that all leads to the infidelity and all that other stuff. But let's go back to the person the people that are being directly impacted the most. Okay, when there's children involved, the children are the ones because they can't fend for themselves. Everybody else is grown. The children can't walk away from the situation. The children are affected emotionally, physically, mentally, because now if mom ain't in her right headspace because dad is mistreating her and is disrespecting the home and everybody in it, then mom ain't going to be in her right mind to take care of the children, let alone anything else. So the children are impacted by it. Same thing if dad is not in his right mind, he's coming home with an attitude and he wants to take it out on everybody that's in the home. That whole situation where the adults are not getting along, then that's going to affect the children most of all. So I heard something before in my reading, or I read something, I should say. Well, I heard it too, that the marriage comes before everything else. The marriage is before the parenting and everything else. So if you do not have a good marriage, husband and wife relationship, then you're not going to be good with the rest of the relationships that come with being married, such as children and family. That's what I read. That's what I heard. Let me ask the women that are married and got children. How do you feel about that, Tanya?
About if the husband and the wife are not good, that it trickles down to the rest of the family.
Yes, dear.
Yeah, there's some truth to that.
Key?
I agree. There's truth to that. Yeah. If everything's going around, the kids notice it. There's a mood in the house. So yes, everybody's affected by that.
I'm gonna ask you too, Patsy.
Yeah, I believe everybody's affected, trickling down,
All right, let me ask the men that are married, that have been married, and Bert. B, you gotta take your phone off mute.
Go ahead.
Question. The children are directly impacted. I read somewhere and I heard that if the husband and wife ain't on the same page, if the marriage ain't good first, then no other relationship that stems from the marriage is going to be good, such as the children and extended family members.
I do believe that, and it is fucked up that, excuse my language, I was just recently made aware of the effect that it had on my children that I was ignorant to because I was in my own management phase of divorce or dealing with separation and divorce. I was very ignorant to the real effect that it had on my own children until I was most recently reminded or informed, and it was pretty devastating to hear because again, like I said, I was more ignorant dealing with my own situation behind it than worrying about the effect that it would have had on my children. So yes, the children are definitely, I know now more than ever, affected.
Okay.
Very disheartening to hear.
You're gonna be surprised to know there's some psychological effects like mental reasons why the man thinks otherwise when it comes to that. I'm gonna touch that shortly.
That stems off of the selfishness I'm talking about.
Not just that. These other things. Sean?
Yeah, yeah, definitely the kids are affected. And I can only speak on my behalf. Like kudos to you, Bird, for sharing that. The same thing with me. I have adult children that over the past several years we've had communication, and they've explained to me what they actually went through because of my divorce and my distancing from that relationship and what effect it had on them. And like Bird said, yeah, it definitely was it was disheartening to hear when you're thinking it's one thing because everything is on a surface, but you haven't seen anything that's underneath.
Let me tell you, let me just commend both of you guys because this is what I'm talking about. You guys are the embodiment of that term, real men bend but they don't break, because see, it was the fact that you guys have already manned up and you have taken accountability and responsibility for your role in the marriage, the dissolution of the marriage, and any failures that the children may have, what they perceive as being failed relationships or lessons. You guys are saying, okay, I know the role I played in it, and I take responsibility, accountability for that. And again, I applaud you guys for that because there's not a lot of men, let alone women, that would be forthcoming with that type of empathy. I should say.
I have to jump in here and be on the fence for the men.
It's heartbreaking.
Because I think in certain situations, even though the relationship is done, right, we as grown adults should be able to sit down and hammer out what needs to be done for the kids so there won't be no type of kids don't know there's nothing going on. They see when you're together, you're acting like adults. I'm going over. They know we ain't together, but she's not keeping them from you, and you get in to spend time with them, and then have a night out where both of y'all go out with the kids. That's showing that that the damn that's showing that the relationship is still there, and you're not harming the kids with y'all's foolishness.
Okay.
That's what real adults do. I don't know about other people to this day, in this day, but that's what real adults do. They figure out and put their prize to the side and do things as a unit still, even though they're not together.
Let me stay right there, Timmy, because that was the next thing. Do you guys, everybody on the panel, I'm going to go to each person. Do you think that there's such a thing as amicable dissolution, like termination of the marriage? Do you think that everybody can be like mindful and respectful and loving when you are basically closing the door on a business, so to speak, because marriage is a business. It's something you don't go into it looking to fail. You know what I'm saying? You go into it looking to be successful. You don't go into it if you're in your right mind thinking, well, I only plan on being married for about a year, and then I'm gonna get rid of this one, and I'm gonna start over with another one, and then after that, I'm gonna move on to the next. If you in your right mind, you ain't thinking that way. You shouldn't be unless you got you got a hidden agenda. But let me ask you, Gina, do you think there is such a thing as a amicable split?
Absolutely. I do. I think that if you guys both agree that it's not working, y'all did everything that you can to make it work, and there's just no connection there, then I think that would be the most important thing to do is to separate, but still, be there for the kids and, make it as normal as possible with the separation. It's possible, but 9 times out of 10, that don't happen. So, yeah.
No, but I like your answer. Speak it into existence. So there we will have hope. There is hope. Let's hold out for hope. Robert, what about you? Do you think that there is such a thing, or if there ever can be a amicable breakup?
Come back to me.
Okay. Gregory, same question. Do you think?
It should be, but like I said earlier, it's all about knowing the person that you're with. Because some people go in smiling and come out with scars and stitches, and then some people go in smiling and they might be able to agree to come out. This ain't gonna work for us.
What the? I mean, are you in a pit fight? I mean, a boxing match? How you go into it smiling and coming out with scars and
I'm
stitches?
I'm telling you, that's what happens sometimes. You might even sit down with this person thinking you're about to have a good, nice conversation, saying, "Hey, these things just ain't working out for us," and then you're getting smacked in the face with a glass or something.
Oh, see,
That's
yeah,
what I mean.
yeah. I think y'all need
You need a
counseling,
fucking
spiritual
referee there.
counseling.
You need a
Y'all
mediator
need
there.
a police officer
Right,
present.
right, a mediator or
Not
something.
a mediator. They need somebody with some real authority to step in and say, "All right, this is done." Sean, how about you? Do you think there will ever be such a thing as a amicable dissolution of marriage?
Oh yeah, mine was.
See, there you go, Gina. That's success right there. He just told you it's possible.
I'm happy to hear that.
Thank you. I'm glad that you're happy.
Um, that's Timmy. You all right? Timmy, go ahead. Do you believe? You know what, Timmy? You already said that. I already heard your answer because you basically told us what it should be. Because you said that it should people be adults and communicate. So I like that, and that goes back to I
Or
promise.
not even you just being harmed, Uncle D. Sometimes these girls might go crazy to the "I can't live without you" level, and now the bitch is out the window.
And again, that's psychological.
Oh my God.
Well,
Let's
I
go
would
to
say
let's.
this.
Oh,
I
you
would
got.
say this. If there's children involved, you guys will want to show the highest respect and self-control because
That's what I'm saying.
your children are still learning from you guys how to carry themselves when they go through a
Mm-hmm.
problem like this. Say they got
Mm-hmm.
married and you didn't
Mm-hmm.
handle yours the right way,
Yeah.
still come, maybe once a month or on birthdays, holidays, you might drop in, have a plate of food, and you do stuff as a unit. Still show that you can carry yourself in a respectful fashion. As in, I'm not hating your dad because we're not together. I'm not hating your mom because we're not together. Keep all your true personal feelings set aside from your visits with your children, because, like I said, you are a reflection of what they need to do in their life. If they're learning both from you, just be better. Keep the arguments going. Keeping hate, nothing but growing hate, then their marriages or relationships is doomed. It's never gonna work because they're thinking what you've done or how you carry yourself when you come around to spend time with them is the way, and it really isn't. So be mindful of your children. Show them that there's a better way of dealing with each other outside. I hate you, and we can't do something as a team because you're only with that person as long as that moment lasts, meaning birthdays, Christmas, or special occasions.
All right, well said, well said. Patsy, do you think there's such a thing as an amicable split?
Yeah, it depends on the maturity of both parties, but it doesn't always happen like that. It's like because it's at least one out of the two that's more immature, and sometimes the one that's more mature reacts to the immature party and is done. And like everybody was saying, like the children learn from your interaction of how good or bad the divorce goes.
Mhm.
If it leaves amicable, then they learn this is how we do it as grown folks.
Ooh.
When they're seeing you as children and you're acting grown instead of acting immature like a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Juice. Tanya?
Yeah. What's the question?
The question is, do you think that there will ever be such a thing
Oh,
as an
amicable divorces?
Yeah.
Yeah, there can be. Mine's wasn't, but there can be. There can be if both parties are being selfless and thinking about the children and not thinking about themselves.
Duchess?
Yes, I think that it's rare. It can happen. A lot of times is
It's
hurt
not rare.
feelings, ego, and anger and frustration and sadness, and it can be ugly. I've seen it, so
Okay, so let me give y'all another fun
Yeah,
fact.
but it's not rare, Kiana.
I didn't say it
with
was.
the
I didn't say it
problem.
was rare. I think it's more. The norm is more people, especially how the relationship is ending, plays a big part in that. If there's been
Right.
lying and deceiving and
Mm-hmm.
all these other things, then there's a lot of animosity and there's issues. So that you can't really be amicable with when you're also dealing with hurt, frustration, anger, and
Well,
disappointment.
when trust is gone, then you can't trust what that person saying. So you
That's true
don't
too.
know if
And that's
that's
why
what it is. But that's not saying that they can't, because with people I know of today is the problem is people don't want to, take the time and say, okay, I'm gonna be the bigger person and be mature
Uh-huh.
about it, and I'm gonna work, hard. Even though this person's acting like a fool, I'm not gonna stoop to her level or his level and give him the satisfaction. I'm gonna sit here and be professional, a mom or a dad, and sit down and talk like we supposed to, not giving all the negative energy. Let's have a conversation about what we gonna do about the kids, cause we already know how. And if we can, then we can discuss on the things that I've done or you've done to me, and then we can leave it at that. But it's too hard to then sit down and have a conversation with people that, because somebody's rah rah, and I'm not gonna sit down with that person. Fuck them. They ain't getting none of my time and all that.
All right, so
When you got somebody like that, then you have to take a different approach. See, it's all about your approach and how you go about doing it, and you definitely be mature about how you go the routes that you choose, and do it elegantly, so there won't be no mishaps or no misunderstandings and whatnot.
all right, so that well said, well said. So again, what I was about to say, a fun fact. And again, guys, don't take my word for it. This is what I read earlier. In Massachusetts, divorce could be anywhere from $15,000 for a regular, divorce, being it just man and wife. Then when it comes to children, it could be anywhere from $23,000 to $28,000 just to bring about the dissolution of the marriage legally. Right? That's crazy. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. See, you that's how much money you paying someone else to talk to the judge and tell them that you disagree, because y'all can't put the time and energy into sitting down to have a conversation and putting all that hard work that you do to get a divorce. I mean, some people work harder to get out of their marriage than they do to stay in their marriage. And again, I'm telling you guys, when you get a chance, go look in your Bible. You can just Google it, scripture about divorce and marriage, and it will give you some, let me say, it'll give you some enlightenment. It'll give you something to think about, something to use as an example. But again, don't take my word for it. Go check it out. I'm just making a referral. All right. What's up next? So, how, when it's all over, you found that you can't be in it no more. You don't choose to be in it no more. And the children, you're trying to find a way so that the children are not affected any more than what they initially are due to you guys' breakup. You guys said something about communication earlier. I go back to that because I said I would. I don't understand if you go into the situation with an open mind, where you're open for business and you're constantly communicating. You should be. If you're in a relationship, you should be communicating, because you should know what is working for her and what's working for you and what's working for y'all and what's not working. So you should know the pros and cons of your relationship if you are communicating. If you are not communicating, that's why your relationship is failing. But if you have the level of communication where you just want to be heard and you don't want to listen to anything that anybody else have to say, well, that's not effective communication. It's positive feedback. You listen to what she has to say, she listens to what you have to say. Tone also plays a big part. So sometimes if you're raising your voice in a tip to be heard, you're not really being heard. You're just yelling, and then in reaction to what you're doing, now she's yelling. So now y'all having a shouting match. Y'all not having a discussion. Sometimes you have
then you hear and mishearing words that's
exactly
being said.
you hearing what you want to hear because you're angry. So you're not here. She could be saying good things, the things she like about you, but you're far past that. You just want to tell her everything you dislike about her. And then in turn, she's doing the same thing to you. Sometimes it might be good to switch up the environment. You can't have a conversation in the home about things pertaining to the home if that's where what's bringing about all y'all's issues, like bills and stuff like that. You might have to go take a walk. You might have to go out to have dinner. You might have to just leave that on the table until you come back from doing something nice for one another. Go out, get something to eat. I talked to one of my married friends today, and I asked him.
He talked to you today, Kiana?
I talk to Kiana almost every other day, time permitting.
No, we didn't talk today, so
Not about this. Kiana ain't my only married friend. So here we go. And Kiana, that's not my friend. That's my family.
I was just about to say.
So that's different. So again,
I know, Kiana.
This individual, I'm not going to divulge their name. I'm not going to disclose their name. This individual told me that After the marriage was over, they had regrets because they're family oriented and they wanted to stay in their relationship. They did not want to bring about the dissolution of their marriage. They wanted to stay and make it work because that's what they went into it with, the idea that marriage requires hard work.
forever.
They was willing to do so.
That's what their vows
Definitely
did
understand
until
that.
death did them apart. I
So-
can understand that.
So she or he also said that when it was done, they wasn't truly done. They were only done because the spouse was done. And an extension with the end of the marriage came the end of their relationship with the children. Because now the children were put in a position where they had to choose between mom and dad, which is not fair to the child, which is not fair to either spouse. Now you come down to the situation about alimony, child support, medical, all that other stuff, child care and stuff like that. So, another fun fact. They said, well, let me ask you guys this. Let me ask the men this first. Sean, why would a man choose to stay in his relationship knowing that he's done all he can and she's not choosing to do any more than what she's done?
He's just that committed to what he signed up for. He thinks that he can change that.
Bert, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
The same question. Why would a man choose to stay in a relationship when it's come to its end based upon because the his wife has decided she's not willing to do any more than what she's been doing?
I think for my case, I have to speak would be more or less for my children who want to still be there in their lives every day, knowing if I do go, that ends. So you do sacrifice your own personal well-being for the sake of raising your children.
Now I told you I was
even though it's not healthy.
Nope.
But
I'm gonna tell you something. I told you I was gonna come back to this early on when you said something about the reason why they were staying, stuff like that. So you guys would probably not be surprised, but maybe the women, it's gonna be surprising for you. Most men stay in a so-called failed relationship based upon how the woman feels, the wife feels, is because it's for stability. It's because they don't want to entertain the idea of being without their children because they love their children and they want to be present. They want to be there to put their children to bed, wake up with their children, be
with their children,
children's life.
Take them off to school and all
They
that.
want all of that. And the other reason
they don't want to miss out on nothing.
They don't want to miss out on. They don't want to miss out on
the growth.
They don't want to miss out on nothing because once they leave the home, then a lot of times
they're gonna miss out on a lot of things.
They're not allowed to re-enter, like they're closed off as soon as they leave. Like it's being said that your dad chose to leave, he abandoned us and stuff like that. That's the message that's being sent to the children. Now let's be clear about this. I'm not woman bashing, so I'm not saying that's what all women do, but that's what a lot of women do when they're done with the husband. They're done.
Just say not the women on the panel.
They're no, because that exceeds beyond the panel. Because I know a lot of women that don't subscribe to that type of behavior, and nor do they entertain that type of bull. Yeah. So for stability reasons is why he'll stay there, because he wants to. The other reason is because he wants to remain a part of his child's life, his children's lives, and the other one is for financial. It is far too more expensive for him to have to support two homes. Because let's
Right.
get this straight. When the man is exiled from his family, according
You got
to
to go find him
the
another
law,
spot.
a lot of times, part of the divorce is him paying alimony and child support if the children remain with mom. And more than likely, that's the case. It's definitely more so the situation in Massachusetts, aka Massachusetts, because when there is a dissolution of the marriage, the children usually remain with mom unless there are some let me say some extenuating circumstances. But that's that. I'm gonna let you women elaborate. I'm gonna let you women weigh in on that. Do you think there's any truth in that? Because these are gonna be the your final words. Let's go to Patsy. Patsy, do you think there's some truth in that men remain in these relationships after the woman is checked out because they want to remain a part of their children's life because it's too expensive to try to take care of two homes and because of stability? Patsy?
Yeah, I'm here. I think that's true. They want to be around the children and everything more than anything. I don't know about it being stable. Like you can't have a stable relationship with your wife overall because that is like tumultuous.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on your maturity with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But and you're still having an ill effect on the child or children if you stay because they're seeing that tumultuous relationship. So it's best to part,
Mm-hmm.
way.
Okay. Okay, that's fair. Gina?
Um, I don't know. I feel like men say they want to stay in a relationship for the for the for in a marriage for the kids. It's just a cop out. I don't think that. I mean, it's easier for them to stay there, but I don't think it's like always not like a sincere reason. Like, oh, they want to be around the kids. Oh, it's I have to pay more and this that. I don't think that's always the case. I think that's just more they just want to just be stuck. I don't know.
Okay. Tanya?
No, I don't agree with that. I don't because it's a control factor. Because if the woman if the you and the wife are not getting out along, there's no stability. Like Patsy said, there's no stability. It's a bad influence on the children. And if the woman chose to leave, that doesn't necessarily mean that the man can't have a relationship with his children or he can't be in their lives. You got some men out here that because they're not with the mother anymore or the wife anymore, they check themselves out of the kids' lives.
Right.
So there's no way you're telling me that if the relationship don't work and the guy and the woman break up, that the woman doesn't allow a man to see his children.
Exactly.
I didn't say that there's no relationship like that. I said I'm speaking from my personal experience. Like I would never keep my kids from their father, but their father checked himself out.
Exactly. And I wasn't saying just because you're not living with the wife, if you ended up leaving within the marriage and divorcing the wife, that doesn't mean that you cut yourself completely off or she cuts you off from the children. There's a way to work around it, and you seeing the children
and spending.
It's just depending on how many children you have, Like it's like that has to be worked out somehow with the, if not just between you and her or the court or however it gets worked out. That has to be. That's still not an excuse. Like why you gonna stay in the relationship?
And
Okay.
and honestly, there's once you get divorced and you go through and you're in court and everything, when you're married, it's completely different from when you're like not married. When you're married, you have sole joint custody. You don't just, oh yeah, she stays with the kids stay with the mom, and
Um,
I don't have no say so. That's not how it works
um, let,
with
let, me,
marriage.
let me tell you this, baby girl.
Hmm.
That's something that you really gonna have to read up on because
No, I did.
but I think that the way it's written and the way
Hmm.
it's enforced, it depends on the situation. I'll give you more information after our recording. Just to be politically correct. So that's why I'm gonna do that. Um, Kiana.
Yeah. I mean, I think that those are those that can be true. I also think what Gina, Tanya, and Patsy are saying is also true. And I think that a lot of men have a um either all or nothing attitude. They can either have to be all in or they take nothing. They don't sometimes know
Hmm.
how to have the
So, so
differentiate the two. And so that's why I feel like a lot of them will withdraw themselves because they don't have a relationship with the mother, so they can't separate that from their children, and that's why they end up staying away.
Okay. Timmy, and you got a minute? Go ahead.
yeah, I kind of agree with the women, but then you have to think about the women who hold their kids over the man's head and won't let them see them because they have an issue with the guy because their relationship didn't work out. And that could be devastating to the kids because if the kid is named after the damn dude, then she might take it out on the kid,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So for me, it's always best to, come to a common ground with your baby's mother or your baby's father. You come to a common ground where we can be cordial. We don't have to like each other, but we can be cordial around the kids and show the kids that we love them. And just because we're not together, we still love you guys. Because that is when you separate, that makes the kids wonder which one of them love me more, which one of them love me the best.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get them, starting to choose sides. And
Mm-hmm.
it's never a good thing when you got the kids choosing sides. It's just terrible because now you're wrapping them up into grown folks'
Business.
business that shouldn't even be up in there. And like Robert said, that it's going to carry over into their relationship because they're seeing all that.
Okay. So let me go to Robert, then Gregory, then Sean, and Bird. You still with us? I'm gonna let you take us home. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Robert. Go ahead, Robert.
Sorry, I just joined you guys. What was the question? What? I wasn't here.
So this is the last question.
Can I say something before you ask that
Hold on, let
question?
me give him the question, and then I'm gonna let you go. And then after that, everybody just let people do what they gotta do. Robbie, it is. Do you feel like that most men stay in a relationship? So they say that most men stay in a relationship after the woman is already checked out, the wife is checked out, because He wants to be there for his children, it's for stability, and because of financial issues, it's far too expensive to try to take care of two households.
So the question is, uh, they say most men stay in a relationship because his excuse is the children, and he's not trying
It's
to.
not an excuse. It's not an excuse. Those are his feelings.
As an excuse for me. Now, what I'm about to say, the children and the finance, right? That's what you're saying to me?
You repeat the question
Because
back.
you know my dogs, I have to mute you at times, and
Yeah,
it's
okay. You got the gist of it.
well, I'm gonna answer it to the best of my knowledge. I'm sorry if I'm not answering it properly because I only have two things to go off of. So now, if a man's using an excuse that he's staying in a relationship or the marriage because he wants to be there with his children, he's not going to be able to see his children if he steps out of this marriage or the relationship as an excuse. Because you can get up and get an apartment and have visitation rights go on. Keep understanding with your ex-wife or your ex-lover, whatever which one it is, be respectful to her leaving and keep a communication door open where you can say, hey, I was gonna try to have the kids spend the night over my home this weekend to give you a break, or I'll take them for the whole week and take them to school so you can have some me time for yourself. You got to know how to make things work so you can see your children. Don't go leading with excuse. I'm not gonna be able to see my kids if I move out. She's gonna be an evil bee and keep them away from me. That's how you make it better for yourself. So there's things you can do different, and there's things you can offer to lighten her load. For the finance, listen, I lived in my own home and paid child support over in someone else's home and have my child living with me. I don't make excuses for finances, and I'm not making no excuses for when it comes time to spend quality time with your child. You made the kid with her, so you can raise the kid with her. If she's denying you the same way she might have said no to you when she was mad at you to give you sex, and you asked again, or you did something to make it better so it was possible that you can get some, do it for your children.
All right. Gregory?
Hello, can you hear me?
Can I make my comment before Gregory goes?
Go ahead,
Oh,
Yes, you can.
It's just
No.
to piggyback off of what Robert just said, that if any woman or man tries to hold their child hostage or hold it as a hanging point, a fruit, low hanging fruit against the other person out of spite, is selfish and only thinking of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well said, well said. Gregory?
And let me just say this on my Mr. Clearwaters. Any man that is staying in that situation is essentially playing the game with the controller unplugged. You're going to work on your day off. You might as well leave because your happiness is going to be the key to everything. If you're not happy, you're not going to make anybody else around you happy.
That's right.
And that goes for the same for the woman because sometimes they be there and they be miserable and they just want to make the other person miserable because it's going to make them happy for the moment.
So why was you saying that to Clearwaters?
No, I was just using it. Can you hear me? And let me say this.
Okay, I heard you.
Sean?
Yeah, it's just an excuse, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Because I had the same attitude, but the way that mine's worked is that I still got up every day. Or, geez, I would have to ask. I think from the time they was from second grade to eighth grade, I came across the bridge because I lived in the North Shore. Came across the bridge every morning and every night. Saw them when they got up in the morning, and saw them before they went to bed at night, living in a different residence. So, you got to do what you got to do. Again, I can only speak for me. And so my separation is based off of my psychological mindset. I could not stay somewhere knowing that I, despise the situation or the person and still be true as a parent to my children in front of them.
Okay, well said, guys. I'm telling you tonight, y'all. This has been a very educated conversation, very enlightening. Big Bird, still with us?
I sure the fuck am, and I'm ready to let off on everybody.
All
Y'all
right.
ready? Put your motherfucking seatbelts on.
All right, so you got 5 minutes. Go ahead.
Let's get it. All right. I'd like to say for everyone that's calling this an excuse, can kiss every part of my ass. Now let's share that you guys are talking in this perfect, beautiful Bill Cosby world about how we can work things out and you can do this and you can make that, but we're not actually dealing with that. I'll say I'm not. Mind you, I'm dealing with. Let me get it. Everybody wants to get in. You have your shine.
Because you attacked us.
Because man.
I'm gonna
Let him
speak
go,
from,
Clearwater.
You can't tell us to kiss your ass, and you're speaking from your personal experience. Ours was different.
Okay. If it does not apply,
everyone is saying it's an excuse.
It is
so
an
that's
excuse
not
in
your
my
personal.
eyes.
Then I guess your eyes ain't seeing as clear as you want to see. When you're dealing with
what it was. I'm gonna let him finish, but I'm just gonna tell him I didn't live his life. Sean didn't live his life. So we're seeing from our view, our points of view. You're seeing it from your experience, solely from a personal level.
From a point of view to a personal experience, this is different. It's hitting different than where you guys are coming from. So again, Sean is saying his thing was amicably, everything was kind of okay, and you were allowed to be in there. Now I'm dealing with a very bitter woman that isn't, both parties ain't happy about the separation. So when you're dealing with bitter people, Timmy made it clear that they use children as pawns to make you stay engaged. So as far as an excuse, I do not reason myself as an excuse. I feel like things were not well for a very long time, but the choice to stay in an everyday wake up and go to bed situation was the grooming process to build adults. Now, statistics will show you after divorce, many kids are impacted by this. Many children are impacted by the lack of a male parent in the household. Many years now. Many children are impacted as adults by this. They choose to break the circle. They choose to engage in a circle. I chose to engage in a circle, and I chose to be a factor of an everyday lifestyle of my children's life. So as an excuse, no, I felt me staying in this situation to be a full-time parent to my child, because you are no longer a full-time parent when you leave that home. You become, you become a part-time parent, and nobody wants their life in a part-time role, seeing your kids on weekends, or better yet, if the divorce was amicable, you get to go and see every day of them wake up and go to bed. I'm not dealing in an amicably divorce situation. So I chose no excuse.
That's
it's a
that's
reality
great that
for
you
me.
do that though.
It's a reality for me to stay involved. I got to get it out, T.
I just wasn't married.
Damn.
Yeah, go ahead, Bird. I'm sorry.
No, you don't want me to go ahead. You want to go ahead? I'll give the mic to you.
Go ahead, Bird. Finish.
I mean, it's very offensive when, if you didn't have to live that experience, to hear it's an excuse why you stay. You sacrifice your life for your children. We grew up to sacrifice everything for the well-being and betterness of our children. Now, me, on the other hand, I'm there paying all the bills. I'm paying for everything. So to walk out and leave and have to provide for me and pay for a whole lifestyle, I chose to stay and continue that lifestyle, continue to be a positive impact to the foundation of my future. The investment that I've invested in these children to become mature adults, successful adults, was my main concern. Putting aside all my feelings. Yes, I wasn't happy. Yes, I wanted to go. Yes, we shouldn't have stayed. But the decision to stay was worth the risk and the sacrifice, because I've sacrificed my entire life to invest in their betterness and well-being.
Yeah.
So it's
And
not. I'm not trying.
that's
To hear,
why.
to
So
hear,
Bird, I
Hold on,
don't.
guys.
It's
Hold on,
cheaper
I
hold on,
to
don't.
guys.
hear excuse
Hold on, hold
I
from
on.
anybody that has not lived in that life, that is bullshit. You gotta
Listen,
live it to
No,
know it.
no.
I don't
and
want
that's
you to
why
think that
and that's
it's
why
like.
it's cheaper to
Opinion,
keep it.
Hey,
And that's
guys.
no,
why
no,
it's
no,
cheaper to keep it.
feelings, how
Listen,
you
no.
it's
feel
not
in effect.
everybody that does what you do. Let's just be
Hold
very
on.
clear.
Hold on,
Every
everybody pause. Everybody pause for a moment. Everybody pause. So I just, at the risk of sounding redundant, this was Bird's 5 minutes to vent. This was no rebuttal from anybody, because
Oh,
Bird
okay.
is having the closing. He's closing out the show. That's what
Right.
he
And
said. So
that's why I said
let
And
him
his
finish.
and his
Let
point
him
of
finish.
view,
Let him finish, and
he
then you guys can respond to it in the green room.
well definitely.
Okay,
I
Bird.
hope he stays
Go ahead,
on.
Bird.
I will stay. I will definitely stay on, because I mean, and again, that was my choice to stay.
no.
Being
Yeah,
unhappy was
right,
not.
right.
It wasn't an excuse. It was a sacrifice. I
Right. No
sacrificed
doubt.
what I could have done. If I would have left, I could have flourished. I could have, whatever the case could have been. I
Happiness.
chose. Okay, so let's say I sacrificed my happiness to provide happiness
Right.
somewhere else for the long-term future. The short run was me leaving, paying my child support, seeing my kids on the weekend, and all that horse shit that's involved being a part-time person. I did not want, and no fact for me to be a part-time. However, I ended up being that part-time person. But I did still hold on to the many years that I've stayed to provide
Right.
support, to provide protection, to provide stability for home, to flourish and nourish my young offspring to become mature, grown adults. No jail, college, military. That was worth my sacrifice, or quote unquote, my excuse, right?
Salute.
Why I stayed
Salute.
to,
Salute.
No
to
excuse when you're
ensure,
giving off godlike
All right,
characteristics.
so
Okay,
to
Dave,
ensure
he's
no,
done. Take us
success.
home.
can you guys
To
listen?
ensure success, I had to sacrifice, which every one of you on this panel with children are doing right now. You are sacrificing a lot of things that you could have done, should have done, would have done, want to do to provide, encourage, and nourish your offspring, because you're seeing a future in what you're doing. So yes, my happiness wasn't important anymore. My personal happiness wasn't important. My happiness is coming home from work and my kids running out of every room to give me a hug and love me every way they could. That's where I was happy at. So
All right.
I wanted that
Let me-
happiness.
Let's pause.
Absolutely, bro.
Let's pause for a
Absolutely.
minute. Let's pause for a minute. So, because to be honest and be fair to everybody, giving Bird 5 minutes is not doesn't do any justification, nor is it justification to the rest of the panel. So we're gonna continue this conversation in the green room, but we're gonna continue this discussion. So everybody stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Still a Man podcast. See you guys next week. God bless you.